No, เพิ่งกิน
What else?
You ought to take a bath before.
Yeah. Yeah, you ought to take a shower
Take a shower.
or a bath. How often? How
You
often?
should accompany someone with you.
You should.
Accompany
Yeah.
someone with you. If you're sick, then you can do.
You should go with someone. Yeah,
You should go with fun.
that's good advice.
Yes.
It's good advice. You don't have to, but it's good advice. How often should you go? How often should you go to a fitness centre?
5 days.
Really?
Yeah.
2 days a week, something.
This
2 or 3
so
days a week.
you should. You should go
Oh,
5 days a week.
5 days a week. After work. Every day after work.
Yeah. Wow. Intense.
And you should pay for the member also.
Yeah. If you've paid, then you should use it.
Yes.
Teacher Fred say you should go at least 3 days a week.
Good, yes. Yeah. You should go 5 days a week, or at least 3 days.
Or at least 3 days.
Yeah.
You ought to apply for the member.
Yes.
If you go 5 days a week.
Well, the typical thing is to pay for the membership and then you don't go.
Ah!
Oh, I'm so tired. It took me all day to go and pay. Yeah.
You have to
Right.
apply for the exercise membership.
All right. Yeah. This is very good. So we have the lack of necessity. You don't have to exercise outside anymore. So you don't have to get wet when you exercise. You don't have to wear formal clothes. And you don't have to hurry. You have to wear sports clothes and shoes. You have to choose the right exercises for you. Don't try to do something that you can't do, that is going to hurt you. You ought to, now this is the advice, you ought to skip food just before exercise, and you should go with someone. It's more fun and it's safer, isn't it? You can have a conversation. You ought to take a shower before, and you should go 5 days a week, or at least 3. So we can tell what is not necessary, what is necessary, and some advice. That's very good.
Accessory.
So we talked about the advice for Sarah, who was feeling anxious, the advice for going on holiday, advice for joining the fitness centre. Let's look at this situation on page 46. Anne and Bill just got engaged. What does it mean when two people get engaged? They're going to have a wedding, yeah? They have agreed to have a wedding. Anne and Bill just got engaged and they are planning to get married in 4 weeks. Because the wedding is so soon, they're feeling a lot of pressure. Anna's mother wants a big wedding, but Anna and Bill don't. Because they are paying for the wedding themselves, they believe they ought to do what they want. Okay? Anna and Bill just got engaged. They are planning to get married in 4 weeks. Because the wedding is so soon, they are feeling a lot of pressure. Anna's mother wants a big wedding, but Anna and Bill don't. Because they are paying for the wedding themselves, they believe they ought to do what they want. Okay? So look here, we're going to use ought to, shouldn't, have to, and don't have to complete the text. Okay? So think, is it a necessity? Is it no necessity? Do what you want. Or is it advice? have a look together. I want you to tell me, going to go from number 2 to number 9. I want you to tell me what you've chosen to put, because there could be more than one possibility. But I want you to tell me whether it's advice, necessity, or lack of necessity. Number 2. Another pressure is all the things Anna and Bill do before the wedding. Is this a necessity, good advice, or a lack of necessity? Necessity. Many things before a wedding, aren't there? For example, number 3, buy a dress, choose her bridesmaids, send out invitations. Is it advice? Is it necessity?
Necessity.
Buy a dress, choose her bridesmaids, send out invitations. So if she doesn't do it, it's okay?
No.
No, it's not okay. So what is it?
Necessity.
Necessary, isn't it? Yeah. Buying a dress, inviting people. Number 4, bill, plan the reception, order the food. Is it advice, necessary, or not necessary?
That's why the necessary so.
Necessary.
Remember that if it's advice, they can still say, "Nah, I don't want to." Yeah. If you give advice, doesn't mean that the person has to do it. It's just a wedding with no food, a wedding with no dress, a wedding with no guests. Yeah. It's necessary, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
These are things that are necessary for a wedding. Most importantly, decide where the wedding will be.
It's necessary.
It's necessary. It's necessary. Anna wants to get married outdoors, but Bill thinks, an outdoor wedding, it might rain.
This is it's not necessary. It's a choice. It is a choice.
Right, think about it. Anna wants to get married outdoors. She knows it can rain. She knows that it's possible that it can rain. Yeah.
Yes, amen.
And she said, I don't care. I still want to get married outdoors. Maybe it will rain, so what? No problem. But Bill says, outdoor wedding, raining, wet dress, wet shoes. Yeah.
With guests.
With the guests.
Wet guests.
Was
He's saying it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea.
Advice.
So he's giving his advice, he's saying, it's not a good idea.
advice.
Yeah. It's not a good idea. She says it is a good idea. Yeah. She says, yes, it is a good. Okay, so maybe it rains. So what? No problem. Maybe it's a nice day.
Idea. The reason. That is my brain.
So it's advice but negative. Yeah, it's negative. He's saying, no, it's not a good idea. Now Bill has a different idea. He realizes that getting married so soon, getting married in 4 weeks, is it necessary? Is it not necessary? Or is it just a good idea?
Good idea. It's a good idea.
Why? Why is it a good idea to get married so quickly?
They are the no pressure, you know. Now the pressure about
Wait. Because the point here is getting married fast.
Too fast.
Yeah, is that a good idea? Is it necessary? Or is it not necessary?
Not necessary.
It's not necessary, is it? Why 4 weeks?
4 weeks.
Why not in 3 months? Yeah, it's not necessary.
4 weeks a month. Necessary.
It's not necessary to get married so fast. Number 8, maybe postpone the wedding until the spring.
Yeah.
Wait until the spring.
This is the idea.
Yeah, he thinks it would be a good idea.
Good idea.
It would be a good idea. That way, feeling so much pressure. Is it, well, it's not a good idea to feel so much pressure, is it? Is it necessary to feel so much pressure? Is it an important part of a wedding to feel stressed? No? Or maybe it is. What do you think? Is it necessary to feel so much stress?
I think the idea.
Wait, to feel pressure. To feel so much pressure.
Don't have to feel so much.
Is it necessary to feel under so much pressure? Not necessary. It's not necessary. He's saying if we get married later, then it's not necessary to feel so much pressure. To take our time, go slowly. Okay. Let's listen to this.
Understand. But if you want to pass the test, then yeah.
Page 45, Exercise 2C. Listen, page 50, Exercise 2. Listen and read again.
Why have we got exercise? 2B. Maybe it's not on.
Page 45, Exercise 2C.
Okay, it's not on the disc.
For the sick.
Never mind. It's a secret. Okay, let's have a look together. So, number 2, another pressure is all the things Anna and Bill have to do before the wedding. Necessity. For example, Anna has to buy a dress, choose her bridesmaids, and send out the invitations. Bill has to plan the reception and order the food. Most importantly, they have to decide where the wedding will be. Anna wants to get married outdoors, but Bill thinks they... Now, number 6, we said that Bill, does he think it's a good idea? No, he thinks it's a bad idea, doesn't he? It might rain. He thinks that an outdoor wedding is a bad idea. Yeah? He doesn't think it's necessary, and he doesn't think it's not necessary. He doesn't. He thinks it's a bad idea. How do we say that something is a bad idea? It's a good idea, it's a bad idea. How do we say that something is a bad idea?
You should not.
You shouldn't, yeah? You shouldn't. It's not necessary or not necessary, it's just a bad idea. So Bill thinks they, number 6, shouldn't. Bill thinks they shouldn't plan an outdoor wedding because it might rain. Bill thinks they shouldn't plan an outdoor wedding. It's a bad idea. Now Bill has a different idea. He realizes that they
Don't have to.
get married so soon. They don't have to get married so soon. Where's the necessity? It's not necessary. Maybe they
Have to.
Ought to.
It's not necessary, is it? Because it's their choice, yeah. And it's a good idea.
It's not necessary.
They're thinking it's a good idea to postpone the wedding. So maybe they ought to postpone the wedding. Yeah. Maybe they ought to postpone the wedding until the spring. That way, they
don't have to.
yeah, they don't have to feel so much pressure.
pressure.
Take away the necessity. No necessity to feel pressure. You don't have to feel pressure. It's your wedding. You should enjoy it. You don't have to feel pressure and stress. So that's 8 answers. How many out of 8 did you get? How many correct?
7.
Very good. 7 out of 8. 4. Not bad. Good
จาก
attempt.
ไม่ถูก
It's difficult. It's not easy. How many?
เดี๋ยวต้องลองทำพี่จากไม่ได้
Sure, you didn't finish in time. It's okay. It's okay. How many?
7 surveys.
Very good. Yeah. How many?
2.
Only 2.
I only have 2.
Yeah. So we need to focus on this choice. Is it good advice or saying it's a bad idea? Yeah. You ought to, you shouldn't. Or is it necessary? You've got no choice. No choice. It's necessary. Yeah. If you want a wedding, you have to invite the guests. You have to order the food. You have to buy the clothes. You have to decide where to have the wedding. Yeah? You have to choose where to have the wedding. Because these are the necessary things. And many things are not necessary. You don't have to get married in 4 weeks. Who says? It's your decision. You're free. It doesn't have to be in 4 weeks. It doesn't have to be soon. You don't have to feel so much pressure.
อย่างข้อสุดท้ายไม่มีเดย์เนี่ยจะใช้ have to เลยถ้าเป็นข้อสุดท้ายก็ใช้ have to postpone ต้องเลื่อนออกไปต้องเลื่อนนะถ้าพูดถึงเตรียมงานที่ผ่านมา4 ปีงานหลังต้องเลื่อนเลยต้องเลื่อนใช้ แต่ที่เชื่อบอกว่าใช้เป็นควรจะเลื่อน
เป็นเดินทางมากแล้วนะ
คือเขาใช้ไม่ดี
เอาที่หลัง
เขาใช้รถ
ตามมาไม่เจอ
แต่ใช้แค่
ไม่
มัน
เจ
เล
อย
ใช้ให้ดีจาก
ร่างกายต่างๆคนไทยคนไทยได้เรานอกมุ่งเรา
Do you see that every situation can be divided into good idea, bad idea, advice,
ชอบชมข้างนอกดีกว่า
necessary things, and not necessary?
แย่มาก
We could talk about this class. Do you have to concentrate? Do you have to concentrate in class?
I do.
yes
Yes, of course. You can't
of
just
course
sing songs,
yeah
roll on the floor, sleep. Yeah.
laugh
You have to concentrate in class. Do you have to sit an exam every week? Is there a test every week?
No.
No, you don't have to sit. You don't have to do tests. You don't have to. Do you have to buy expensive books and materials,
No.
pens?
No.
No, you don't
Not
have to.
necessary.
It's not necessary. You don't have to buy lots of
ช่าง
things.
ใจคือ
Do you? Is it a good idea to study at home if you have time?
yes
Yes.
Yes, you ought to look at the lesson at home. Yes.
ไม่เคยไม่เคย
Is it a good idea to eat rice and kapow and fried eggs in the class?
no
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Yeah. If you are very hungry and you decide that really you're so hungry that you want to eat, okay, but you shouldn't. It's not a big problem, but you shouldn't. Yeah. Is it a good idea to eat durian in the classroom? No, you shouldn't.
กิโลละ160แล้ว
You shouldn't. Yeah. So in every situation we can talk about, you have to concentrate. You have to complete the exercises. Yeah. You don't have to do a test every week. You don't have to buy expensive books and